Oh, nice to see. All right, we're being recorded. Thanks for joining us on TNT today. It is 12 o'clock and we're going to get started. Our format, as you know, is that we will answer questions in the order that we see the hands up. And let me just remind you a few things. One is this is being recorded, so you know what's on camera, everybody sees. So let's make sure we only see what we want to see. Second of all, start with my question is, and if I need some extra backstory for that to understand it better, I'm going to ask you for that so that we can actually get to everybody's question and we don't leave anybody hanging at the end. If you have additional questions after your first one, just put your hand back up and we'll recycle you back in line. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to have their question asked. Also, sometimes I'm going to say, look, if somebody knows what this is about, because it's beyond my expertise, or I just don't have enough experience with it, I'm going to say, check the chat, because there's plenty of people on this call that know something about something, right? We all get to contribute to helping people get their questions answered. So my name is Laura Bewer, if you didn't know, and I am the founder of Coach Me Laura, as well as the annual Notary Symposium. And I am excited to work with you guys today, and let's see how many questions we can get answered. I am in a hotel lobby. I will try, if somebody says, Laura, there's too much background noise, I can't hear you, let me know. That's why I'm on headphones today, to try to minimize that. And we are going to start with Manuel in California. Manuel, go ahead
Hi,
and unmute.
how are you?
I'm good, Manuel. How can we help you today?
Good. I have a document that it's called Quick Claim Deed. On the same page, I have like a blank space that says signature of declarant agent determining tax. I don't know whose signature goes under that line. What I have been doing is I have been sending one with no signature and one with signature, but I don't know which one is the one, which signature is the one that company is requiring.
Okay, Manuel. So I'm going to give you two answers. One answer is it's a signer. They're the declarant. The second answer is it's not my job to know who that is, because that's document portion, right? It's not notary part. So you should be getting direction about whether they want them to sign it or who's supposed to sign it, especially if you have two signers in one place for the declarant. So guys, anytime there is something to be done within the document portion, then that's, even if we know, we're not supposed to be directing people in that area. Okay, so Manuel, the next time you have it, you might want to check with them. Also, you could check with your county recorder's office if you have a blank copy of that, to ask whose signature would go here, so that you could, you know, because they're the receiving agency to record the deed. And then you would have from the horse's mouth what goes there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. Marla, would you tell us what state you're in?
Hi, good afternoon, Laura. I'm in Florida. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and answering my question today. I did purchase your library. I'm so excited. I'm partway into it to get into my general notary work. But my question is, I have a document. It's a loan sign. It's in a package. It's called Notice to Purchaser Mortgager. This document, I explained it to the signer. She wasn't clear on what I was explaining to her. She called the title company. They explained it to her. She still wasn't clear. I Googled it. It's just giving me the same document. Do you know of like a better way to kind of describe it to her?
Okay, so I'm going to give you two answers.
Okay.
One is that a brief description of the document when you're presenting it is all you're allowed.
Right.
To explain it further than that is not allowed for you, number one. And then, of course, she did reach out, which was the right thing to do. And they provided, I would believe, a more enhanced explanation. Yes, Matt, it is two answers because it's 2/22. All right, it's Tuesday. And so that didn't help her. I don't think there could have been anything else she could have said if she
Okay.
didn't get it already from the two of you. I don't
Mhm.
have a better way to explain other than the brief, this is the name of it, this is what it does. If that's not enough,
Okay.
then they need to reach out. You did that. And if that's not enough, the signer needs to decide, are they going to willingly sign the document or not? And that's
Okay.
between them and their, the title company or whoever they reached out to.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Here's what I love about the last two questions is you guys want to be more knowledgeable. You want to be more helpful to your signers because that brings value. That's how we want to be seen. And we want to do that within the limits of what um, we're allowed to do, right? So I may know information. It doesn't mean I always share that information because I don't want to step over that limitation that a notary has, unless you have additional credentials or certifications to do that. All right. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Anderson, what state are you in, Yolanda?
Hi, I'm in Maryland right now. How are
Maryland.
you?
Okay, I'm good.
Good. I just have a question as it pertains to how you can incorporate multiple loan signings in a day. Because I'm seeing where, I know everyone is different, but I'm seeing where some signers are saying they're doing upward of 8+ signings a day. And me being fairly new, I
Yeah.
don't see how that can be humanly possible. You may have done it, but I'm trying to figure out what is the secret sauce, because from the signings that I've done, when you factor in the printing of the documents, that's if you get the documents on time. Getting to your first signing, and suppose your second signing is, 45 minutes away, and so on and so forth. How can you humanly possible incorporate 8 or more signings a day into a schedule if you're getting your orders from a signing service?
Yeah. So I guess I'm
I
gonna
can
give you
answer that.
two answers. I'm gonna say talk to somebody in the chat because
I
I
can
don't do
probably
it.
help out with that.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Griff. Can you
Yeah,
help
this
out?
grill. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
With
Griff.
that, hey, how you doing?
I'm
First of
good.
all, don't get enamored by what they're saying, because one of the
That's
things that a
right.
lot of these people are doing, there's a lot of different things they're doing. One, some people actually have folk helping them with the documents. Another
Mhm.
thing is that they're not telling you that they might be doing stuff for companies that have hybrid signings, and some of the hybrid signings only have 20 to 30 pages in there with only 2 or 3 notarizations. So they can do 8 or 9 of them. So sometimes when they're doing stuff for, I believe, Service Link, Rocket Mortgage, Mortgage Correct, Connect,
Mhm.
stuff like that, they're doing a bunch of small closings where the document size is very, very small, and they're running around and they're knocking them out pretty quick.
Mhm.
Also, they might not be telling you that they're doing nothing but sellers or buyers, and certain companies, you only have maybe 10 or 15 pages for sellers. So they're not fully disclosing. And one of the things that I've always say is that if you're ever in a conversation with that individual, you need to ask them to expound on that and explain, rather than just say that they're doing something, but they need to give you receipts on how they're doing it.
Mhm.
And then you might find out that, okay, they're not really doing it correctly. And some people have actually will go to a signing and literally only give the signers the signature pages
Right.
and not anything else, and then force them to hurry up and sign. Don't even give them an opportunity or allow them to look things over. So you have to look at the logistics of how they're doing it, but don't get all hyped up and worried about, well, they're doing this and that. No, and you're right. It is hard to do it's hard to do 820, 150, 80 page refis
Right.
in a day. I tried it, and it took me, I'm be honest, and it took me a couple of days to recuperate from that.
Mm.
So you have to make them, well, not necessarily make them, if you're in a conversation with them, you
Mhm.
have to put them, you basically got to challenge them and say, okay, give me justification of how you're doing this. Since you're bragging about it, you're putting it out there, show me your receipts on how you're doing this
Right.
and everything, rather than just take their word for it. Because too many notaries right now are just taking people's word for what they're saying they're doing in this business. And
Mhm.
these people really aren't. They're just doing it for views, clicks, and likes, and all of that. So
Right.
back to you, Laura.
Now, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that, Griff. And I do know too, a lot of these signers that are saying that they do this, they probably, I'm assuming, have printers and scannings in their vehicle. I don't. So
Some
anything
do,
that I have to do, I have to go back home, print it, and then go to the
right?
next signing. So I guess that has a lot to do with it too.
You know, another thing I think it's just important in general is not to compare our insides to somebody else's outsides, right? We
Mhm.
don't know what they're doing. We don't know what the size of their jobs are. We don't know if they're just picking up packages at a title company. We don't know if
Mhm.
they're hybrid signing. We don't know what it is. They just put something out. But we know what we have to do. And if what's reasonable for us is 4 signings,
Mhm.
or 5 signings, and that's what's reasonable for us. It might be 3 or 4. Even when I was doing mostly loan signings, I never did more than 5 because you know
Mhm.
what? I don't want to break my neck trying
Right.
to get that. I got to pee sometime. I got to eat sometime. I got to take
Mhm.
call. I mean, there's more than just doing the darn assignments. I'm not
Mhm.
a machine. Okay, so
Mhm.
keep that in mind.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, I think Andy is next.
Hey, Laura,
Hi.
and hello, everybody. Amazing Notaries. Hey, Laura, I'm in California. Rook, I got 2 quick questions. The first is I'm doing a signing tomorrow, and in California, of course, and it's Florida documents, or some of the documents are from Florida. Actually, the lender is here in California, if that makes sense, but I guess it's a Florida property. So they're saying that I have to have 2 witnesses, and they're saying that the signer is going to provide one, and that I can be the other witness. And I think the only limitation for me on that is as long as I'm not on a notary certificate or something, I can do it, right? And be a witness.
Yeah, Florida does require, if it's a like a grant deed or a quitclaim deed, not on a mortgage, they don't require it anymore. But if you have some other form that does, then yes, you can be the witness. And I've seen the Florida documents, it doesn't require notarization for that witness. So as long as your name as a witness is not notarized, it's fine. It's certainly not the preference, but in loan signings, it happens quite frequently.
All right. The other one is I'm working full time, and I've been doing this part time, and I'm like halfway to my revenue goal here. And I guess if you were me, what decision criteria should I consider to jump in full time to this? Because I feel like I'm about there.
So, and are you doing it all with just loan signings? Meaning, do you have room to expand what you're doing?
I've done actually some general notary work, just seems to kind of come flying in the door, you know, almost every month. There's a little bit of that that
Sure.
comes in too. And I've seen some of the
Okay.
stuff that you've presented on trusts. I mean, that highly interests me too. So,
So if you're wanting to go from part-time to full-time, I think having more than loan signings in your bag of tools there is critical for that, meaning you've gotten training and you are gaining experience in packages that are not just loan signings. And that means you might be doing facility work like hospitals or jails, adoption work, living trust work, all these different kinds of specialties. And I don't, when most people say, you know, I do general work, what that tells me is that they don't have a plan. They just get it because somebody found them on the internet. To me, what makes specialty work different is that you have a plan and you've targeted and you said, these are documents that are being handled in this environment, and I'm going to go after that. So who do I have to talk to? What are the documents I have to learn? What are special requirements for that environment? That's the kind of thing that will help expand the business, that you can have a really good foundation that will sustain you through the ups and downs of the loan signing part. So if you
love
haven't
that.
started looking at at moving from general work that you happen to get to targeting specialty work, that's going to start making a difference for you. And that's when you can really count on full time.
All right, I'm going to check your site on trust and then take it from there. Thank you. That's great advice.
All right, you're welcome. And Andrea or Andrea, what state are you in?
Hi, Laura. I'm in California.
Great.
Okay, so I was calling because I've been approved through Fidelity to go direct through a title company. I'm also bank serve approved, the whole bit. And so I've gone in and I have visited this title company several times. You took them goodies and stuff. But I guess I know I have not been consistent, like going in every Monday or every Tuesday. But I just wanted to know, when I go in, it's just a little office. I mean, like, do I go in and hang out and have a seat, or do I go in and say, hi, do you guys have anything for me today? Because I'm only dealing with the front lady, the lady at the front desk. And
Sure.
it's more of a hi, how are you doing type of thing. But I don't know how to get the business. But I've been approved for over a year and they haven't used me.
All right, so a couple different possibilities. First of all, I would not go in and just hang out. They're a busy place and they're not going to want us to hang out around there. Go in with a purpose. You may or may not have gifties with you when you go. Jennifer calls these pop-ins. And I wouldn't go in to say, do you got something for me? I would be going in more about, I'm just following up, checking in with you, was thinking of you, thought you might like this if you happen to have something, rather than being so much about having my hands out. I've come to get something, I've come to get work. Try to rephrase that presentation to, I'm here just to say hi, I haven't seen you in a week or two, just thought I'd check in, see how you guys are doing. That kind of feel, rather than I'm here, do you have anything? That would be my thought on it, number one. The other thought I have is maybe they just have, if they're not using you, you might say, I noticed that you haven't had work for me. Is there some kind of requirement or something in your process that wouldn't allow me to be part of your team? Maybe there's something holding it up. And maybe that's what it is. Is there something I could do to find out if I've met all of the requirements needed to operate? And they might tell you, hey, we have to use a list. It doesn't matter who you are. And if you're not on the list, or you need to go, we use a signing service, go sign up with them. And maybe you can find out what's holding things back for you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Laura.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. All right. Lisa, is this Lisa Lawson?
Hi, yes. Hi, Laura. It's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's nice to see you in person. Thanks for connecting.
That's what my day started, dude. I'm gonna sit down.
Hold on, because I'm getting some extra people talking here. Let me see if I can mute them out. All right, Lisa, let me see if I hear you better now.
Great. It was nice to connect with you a couple of weeks ago. Thank you. And I just want to say this is great. I'm glad to be on Tuesday Titans, Notary Titans. Hi to all the Titans here. I am new. I just passed my exam and I'm waiting for my commission. So yay, I'm just trying to learn and get everything, to get as much knowledge as I can. But right now I wanted to find out, because I heard someone mention about just bringing certain papers to a sign-in. Is it more proper and appropriate and the correct thing to do by bringing the full document to sign-ins?
So I think I need a little more understanding of your question. Are you saying that some people are saying leave some of the pages at home? I'm not getting it.
I heard someone mentioned that only bring the signature pages, but is it more appropriate to just the entire?
It would never be appropriate to only have signature pages. Always need to have 100% of the document. And in California, we need to have a complete document. I can't notarize with just a signature page.
Right.
That is correct. What I was saying was that is one of the ways that some people are conducting a signing by only presenting or even sometimes taking just the signature pages, and they'll pull all the signature pages out of a set of documents, hand that to the borrower, tell them to sign those, and won't allow the borrower to see the other documents whatsoever. And that is not the way that we're supposed to be doing any kind of loan. And you would that in general notary work, trust work, anything. These are those people's documents, and you let them have access to their documents. We're not gatekeepers of the document, and that's one of the mistakes that a lot of notaries make and are out there sharing it as a tip, trick, and nugget to get through these closings in 30 minutes or less. We don't do that. Always carry the full documents, because you never know who you might be sitting in front of. You might be sitting in front of a loan officer or a title officer, and you come there with that kind of shenanigans, they'll rat you out, and you'll end up just ending your whole notary career. And then me and Laura have to buy your printers from you and sell them on eBay and stuff.
Thank you. I want to do it the correct way. Thank you both. You're on mute, Laura.
I'm on mute. I didn't have Bill to tell me. Lisa, thank you for asking. And David, would you unmute yourself and tell us what state you're in?
Hey, Laura, I am in Texas, and I've been doing this for about a year now, and I've been going to different title companies, but I want to try to do something else now, and I want to market myself towards more realtors and builders and like real estate brokers. What I did last week is I went to an open house, and I met the realtors that were doing the hosting, that were hosting the open house. And when I got there, I really didn't know what to say to them to get their business. So my question to you is, what value do I bring as a notary to some? I wanted to like start out with, what value I bring versus me just going there and be like, hi, I'm a notary agent. I would love your business. I wanted to do like, what marketing points can I say to them that I bring value to a realtor in order to get their business?
Well, I think that's just a fabulous question. I'm going to say something, and then I think Jen Cooper has something she'd like to say as well on this particular point. And when I approach, and I've done this, I've gone to open houses and met the realtors, and I am very curious about what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I do disclose that I am a notary, but I don't say, oh, I'd love to do work for you. I never start there. I introduce who I am. I might introduce that, oh, I handle loan signings, which, when this sells, would be along the way. I could end up being the notary that does that. And what I want to really do is get their business cards so that I can follow up with them, because I can have some opportunity then to figure out some value for them and the follow up. So I do identify who I am and what I'm about. I'm very curious about their business because I don't know what value I can bring to them, particularly unless I know more about them and how they do what they do and how I could potentially support them. Jen, unmute yourself for a moment if you have a comment directly related.
Yeah. Hi, David. This was one of my first things I tried to do when I started my notary business. And what I'm going to tell you from my experiences, a house showing is their event, not yours. It's their event. They're working really hard at that event. So be very careful that you don't come in guns slinging, ready to sell yourself, because they are not interested in being sold to. They're trying to do what they're doing. So everything Laura said is right. What I would do when I would go is, I'm not in the market for a house right now, but I will be in the market in the house in the next 2 years. And I don't know yet what neighborhood I want to live in. Okay. This is the honest truth about me. I went to these showings with my husband with honest curiosity about the house and about the neighborhood. That's what I did. We didn't lie to them. I didn't tell them I'm in the market to buy a house. I just went with what I just told you is what I told them. And in the process of the conversation with these realtors, they would be talking, this does not have anything to do with your marketing, but they would be talking to my husband about all the benefits of this house and all the market rates and all of that stuff. And he'd say something that would trigger my memory from something that a signer would have said. And I said, oh yeah, I've heard that from my signers. And that organically started a conversation. And every single time that happened, we got business cards swapped, emails. I've had coffee with all of my realtors. And if I was in the business for 2 years, I would be able to do fidelity business, which I haven't done yet. I would have been working with all of these realtors. Does that make sense? So I would just encourage you to be organic about it and not to be a salesman when you go to these, because this is their event. And
Yeah.
their event isn't for you. It's for the people that want to buy the house. So just be
Sure.
careful about that situation a little bit. That would be my only note.
You know, and something that I saw a couple people put in the chat, Matt was one, it's a conversation, not a pitch. I like that. The other thing is that I have attended the the local chapter meetings where they have a little breakfast meeting and they're open. You don't have to be a realtor to attend. And that was another way I could get to meet them when they're not trying to put on an event to sell a house, right? So it's a little more casual and they're presenting, oh, I have this listing, I have this listing. And you can start to listen and start to pick up on the language they're using, because I always want to know the lingo of that specialty. That's one of the things that I think is really important, so that they feel like they're talking to another professional, even though you're not a realtor. Okay, David?
Okay.
All right. Thank you
Thank
for
you, guys.
asking that. You're welcome. And Angel, we're going to come to you. And David, we're going to lower your hand. All right. Angel, go ahead and unmute yourself. And that's the mute. Oh, he has to stay muted right now. Then let's come back to him. We're going to go over to Daisy. Daisy Espinoza.
Hi, Laura. I had a
Hi.
question. I guess it's not specifically notary, but it's regarding domains, websites, and emails. I know we have to have very safe, protected emails or very safe accounts. Do you have any recommendations on what domains and website or email accounts are very safe for notaries to like email important documents? Oh, you're muted.
I mute every time in between. I'm just trying to make sure I understand your question, really. You want to know what is a good domain name for notaries to use?
Well, it doesn't have to be a domain, but I know they have emails such as like Gmail or Yahoo's, and I know we want to drift away from it and have a domain to look more professional, right? Is there any specific, I guess, engine we should be using?
Okay, a professional like Laura at coachmelaura.com.
Mm-hmm.
You could use your name in that way rather than Laura at Gmail. So
Okay.
using a professional extension might be a good idea. Does anybody else in the chat?
Yeah, I see Lori saying our record.
Okay, good. Yeah, sometimes there's other people that have even better information than myself. All right.
Okay.
So anybody who has answers, please put it in the chat for Daisy, because people can actually save the chat if you're on the computer by the three little dots at the bottom. And that way, when you've got a whole bunch of answers, you can save them all.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. It looks like you've actually been given some contact information as well to help you. All right, Karen, I'm going to go to you. If you unmute, it's your turn, and tell us what state you're in. There you go. You're almost there, Karen. Can you unmute? Yeah, unmuted and muted. But you're still muted. There. Oh.
I don't know why it's.
There you go. Oh. Try one more time. You unmuted for like a second. Okay, if you're having difficulty with that, Karen, I can come back to you. We don't have a long line. Up. There you are.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And I'm new to this network, and I've been looking at a lot of information, YouTube, and this is one of the best and most knowledgeable networks, including Griffith. So I thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys, and I feel the love. I seen the, I so happened to, one of my first lives I caught with you guys was when you were doing a tribute to a lady that you guys worked with for such a long time, Carol. So I just feel the love on this network. So I just want to say that. And I am I do my first loan signing on Thursday. I'm getting ready to just do this full time, and I am a paralegal. And I wanted to just ask you, for one, I want to target jailhouses and prisons. So how would you market yourself? And would you just go into the jailhouses and around your area? And also, I am a government employee. Again, I'm getting ready to leave so I can start this full time and carve a niche doing paralegal, freelance paralegal work full time. But also, I wanted to, who would you target if you're government, ex-government employee, you're a paralegal, you're a notary? Who would you target to get more notaries, given the background, just to use your background as leverage, if that makes sense?
Yeah, although since I'm not a ex-government employee, I don't have that experience, but I'm going to start with your first question, which was, you talked about jails. And I think this is a great example. So we don't market to the jails, right? They're not talking to us. Who's hiring us? The jail is not hiring us. The people that are hiring us are outside family members, or attorneys, sometimes bail bond companies. That's where I'm getting that kind of work. So that's where my marketing has to be, right? So the general public who may have somebody on the inside, that's going to be my Google My Business and my website and my Yelp page, all of those digital presence that I have. If when I marketed to the bail bond companies, I identified the ones, there were 20 of them in my town. Now, Modesto's not that big. We had 20 bail bond companies, and I developed a postcard for them. And what I did is I talked to them about, you probably have, I got to plug in, guys, or I'm going to lose my power. Hold on a second. Let's see if that helps me. You might not have a notary 24/7. So I was looking at, how do I bring value? Well, when you need it at 10 o'clock at night, I could be your notary. When you need it on Sunday and yours is off, I could be your notary. So I talked about how I could help be an extension of their service without hiring staff unless they need it for that particular assignment. And actually about 3 different ones out of the 20 kept my card, and they've been using me regularly for those kinds of assignments when they need them. So that's just one example of how I targeted to that particular market. There's other ways that you could do it as well. And then attorneys is a totally different thing. I didn't do postcards with them. I actually, those ones I did through referral, because I happen to be located an office in downtown where there's lots of attorneys right by the courthouse, right? So I leveraged a couple of the connections that I had to meet attorneys in that arena, so that I could meet them and talk to them about when they needed documents notarized. They didn't have to go down to the jail themselves. I could do that for them, which they love, because you know what? It takes an hour to take care of one document, and they hate that. Right? An hour of their time is not the same as an hour of my time. So those are the different ways. First, you identify who is either generating or needs these documents. Then you kind of know, okay, that's where I need to market. Now, what do I need to know about the jails? I looked at the jail website to find out, are there hour restrictions? Are there clothing restrictions? There's things like you can't bring your phone in there. I have to go through a metal detector. I have to be dressed a certain way. It's called a professional visit. That's different. That's like an attorney visit than a family visit. So you have to be very articulate in what it is you need to do when you're there. You need to bring your commission with you. In some states, in California and my county, I have to show that I'm a notary, and I laminated a color copy of my commission to put in my bag. So if I'm ever asked to prove I have a commission, I can pull it out and show it to them. So this is the kind of research that you should be doing to make sure you understand the requirements before you try to go into the environment. And I just used that was my answer just to your first question about jail. So does that help you?
That does. And that, I'm sorry, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but that does lead to another question.
Okay, I'm Karen.
Yes,
I'm just going to say to be continued. If you'd like to ask a second question, I'm going to take your hand down and then put your hand back up, and I'll come back around to you. Okay. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to lower her
Thank you.
hand. And Anisha, there you are.
Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Laura.
Anisha. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Thank you. All right. Sorry for that interruption. Anissa, what's going on
Hi.
for you today?
I'll make it just two questions. Last week or the week before, I had asked you about the NNA individual acknowledgement form, and I was asking you if it's a husband and wife in a loan signing, and this particular document, let's just say the husband is signing a form that has to be notarized, and I'm attaching that. His name is personally appeared because he did personally appear in front of me, but at the bottom it says signers other than named above. You said that that particular document is about that person, the husband in this example. So who would be the other signer other than named above? You said it wouldn't be his wife. Like, who would that be then?
Yeah, it would be the missing signer. It's if you look at that, it says signers who did not appear.
No.
What does it say?
It says at the top, it says the undersigned notary public personally appeared, and
No,
that
that's
would be John
the
Doe, the husband.
certificate. Okay, Anissa, that's the certificate. I'm talking about the bottom.
The bottom, it says signers other than named above.
Okay, so we'll stop right there. So were there other signers other than who you put in your certificate, signers to the document that were not with you at the time?
No.
Okay, then there's nobody to put there.
So give me an example of who would be put there then, because the wife is there, she's just not signing this particular document.
So in your example, there's nobody to put there, but let's just pretend the wife is a signer, but she's not there. Then the wife would go down there because she's not present, even though she was named as one of the signers.
Right, so it's like a part two of a.
Yeah, I use it for split signings.
Okay. Okay, so that's that one. Now, someone said to me, which sounds absurd, but then, you know, I'm not a know-all. It's regarding a conservatee, that if a conservatee they said that as long as the conservatee can say their name, that is an identifier. Like if they can acknowledge that, yeah, my name is Sarah Jane, that was good enough for, I guess, for, I don't know for what. They're saying that that was that good enough that if they had somebody that wanted to do a POA, that would be good enough for that person as an identifier. And that makes no sense to me.
I don't know who would have said that. I'm not aware that that would be enough for identification for anybody.
Yeah.
And a conservatee, by the way, means there's a conservator and the conservatee has no rights, because that's the whole conservator process, which is different than a POA. A POA, somebody's going to share the power of signature. A conservatorship, they don't have any more rights. The conservator has all the rights and they're going to sign.
Right. I did say that wrong. This person is almost incapacitated, and this is them trying to get the conservatorship of a conservatee. That person would become the conservatee, but they can't identify themselves because they're not, they don't have the mental capacity.
Okay, so what I would say, just from my own experience, that doesn't mean Laura Beware has experience in all 50 states and in all situations. What it means is that I'm not aware that somebody can just say, I am this person, and that's sufficient.
Right, that's what I thought.
It may be acceptable for a different condition or situation or document, but not a notarized document, not for my part.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Right. You're so welcome. All right. Let me see who I've got. Now I'm going to come back to Angel, because Angel, you said that you needed to be muted, but you could hear my answer, but I need to hear your question. So are you able to communicate or no?
I did ask in the chat what the question was, because he said he can listen for the answer, or they can listen for the answer, but they didn't respond to me, I don't think.
Okay, and then I'm going to go to Marty in Kansas. Marty, are you available?
Wait a second, Laura. He said,
I'm here.
oh, sorry.
Okay, hold on.
No, Marty,
just
I'm
a-
not in Kansas. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Well, then hold on. Marty,
Okay.
you hold on a moment. Jennifer, what
Okay.
did Angel
Angel
say?
said, outside of Ron, what other trends are you seeing in document digitizing needing notary services? I hope I said that right.
Outside of Ron, well, Ron is remote online notarization, which is a virtual type using a platform. I'm not sure I understand the question. What is an other type?
Other digital notarization trends besides that? Are there any other that you're noticing?
I'm not aware of any other. Ron is the big trend.
iPen.
Well,
Oh, there you go,
iPen,
Matt.
yeah, it's digital. I mean, the idea is either it's electronic with somebody in front of you, which is in-person notarization. Then the person's in the same place with you, breathing the same air at the same time. It's just the documents on screen. A hybrid, which is some are done like under iPen, which I just described, and some are paper documents, and then remote online. That's what I'm familiar with that's going on right now. I don't know in the world of notarization. And Ron may come to California. We're hoping it will, and we're working on that. Okay, so now I need to go back to Marty. And Marty, would you please tell me after you unmute what state you are in?
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, Laura. I'm Marty. The KS is Kleinschkarel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for clarifying.
Yeah. I'm in Oregon.
Oregon.
And yes, yesterday I had a reconveyance, a request for reconveyance. And I wasn't able to help the signer know what to put where. There were two lines. One said title of company and then name and signature. And then it was the same thing on the second line. And that document was to be notarized. But we didn't know what. So we had to go to escrow, to the title company, to get it clarified for us. But she had to go. I didn't get it clarified. I asked the title company, could you please school me on this? Because I had never seen it done like that. It was just a request for reconveyance of a deed of trust.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. One is, it doesn't matter if I know or I don't know. It's not my job to instruct them how to do that. And sometimes knowing too much is a problem for me because I forget to shut up. Yeah. And I start telling them what needs to be done. So sometimes ignorance is a little bliss to say, you know what, I don't know how this has to be handled. Let's get the right people to tell us the right thing, especially with recordable documents of any nature. Because I do not want to potentially create a problem for them.
Right. Yes. So actually it was on Monday. So, nobody was around. So we just had to let it go. And she went down to the title company, a local title company that she's working with, and they're taking care of it. But I was just wondering, because it was just such a foreign looking document. It wasn't like I blah, 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 do this, that, and the other thing for this amount of money or anything. It was just a request for reconveyance. And
the other thing, Marty, I'm sorry. The other thing I want to say is when people come on and they ask me about a specific document, it looks like this, I can't see it. I'm a very visual person, and it's very hard from just hearing what it sounds like that I know, unless I happen to know the document specifically. It's really difficult for me to say, oh, this is how it works, because I have to see the actual document. And when people text me a picture of a document or fax me a document or email me a document, then I have a chance to study it. And then I can say, okay, it looks like this is how it works. But don't tell the signer that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. That was basically my, because title kind of got all snippy at me that I didn't know. And she said, you mean you couldn't tell her how to do this? I was like, no, I don't advise on specific documents. And so she said, well, okay, we'll get it taken care of.
Okay.
I mean, I was just curious about that document, and it was one that the signer had. It wasn't one that was sent to me.
Okay.
But the same deal. It
I
doesn't really
can't
matter.
send you a copy. Yeah.
Yeah, not
All
on this
right.
one. If you want to, if you had a blank copy of it and you texted it to me, then I could work with you privately
Right.
to
That's what I
figure it
mean.
out. But I can't do it in this format.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much anyway.
All right.
Yeah,
you're
that
welcome.
was, I had the same note that in my head that I really shouldn't
Okay.
be trying to tell anybody what to do.
Exactly. All right, Marty.
Okay.
Thanks
All right.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to move on to Linda.
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Linda in
Hi.
California.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Quick. Well, I don't know how quick this question is. So I had a specialty notary job last week, and the person wanted a document notarized, basically, and it was like an application or something. I said, well, it has to have, I notarize signatures. So therefore, they want to write a statement or whatever, not notarize that signature. So I called NNA and asked them, could I use a copy certification by document custodian? And they told me they no longer use those forms. Is that accurate?
Okay, yes, and no.
Okay.
It is accurate that the NNA no longer has a certificate called copy certification by document custodian, which is really the combination. The top half is document and the bottom half is a jurat. And that's what they used to have. And the reason they pulled it and they don't provide it or recommend it is because it already had a specified notarial act on it, and we're not allowed to make the decision about what the right one is. So that was the big issue with that. So they they got rid of it. Now, that process called copy certification by document custodian is describing a signer making a statement and signing their name to it, and then a notary affixing either on the bottom of the same document if there's room, or on a certificate, an acknowledgement or jurat that certifies their signature. That's the process you just described by that title. So if you go on the internet, you will find that title. You'll find out there certificates that are called copy certification by a document custodian. You might even find the old NNA ones.
Yes.
But just know that it's not okay for us to pull the one that says jurat and just use it. The signer has to give us direction, and then we pull the one that has the right certificate for us.
Okay.
Does that clarify that for you?
Yes, it does. Because weekend prior to that, I had passports, and they already had that particular document attached to their passports, but it wasn't California compliant.
Yeah, that's the other problem is with an acknowledgement or a jurat on those old ones, there was no notice box, which is a California requirement, and there's no space to fix it. So you're going to end up having to attach anyway. So I just would have written see attached certificate and attached my own.
Okay. So, okay. So I could have just put another jurat there and see attached. So it didn't have to be even though I was notarizing a copy of their passport.
Yeah.
They didn't have to have a statement.
They did have to have a statement. I would use the affiant. The NNA has two different certificates. One's just a plain jurat, and the other one has an affiant statement with it. That's the one I would use. So at the top, they could write whatever their statement is that they're going to sign, and then at the bottom is the jurat, if in fact the jurat is what they asked for.
Okay, I just put the attachment if I attach my own.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, that's why I call you to go.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Linda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Paula, would you unmute yourself and tell me what state you're in first?
Yes, I'm in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody, and Laura. I purchased your program, and I noticed, and I wanted to start. I'm going to be doing a general notary, but I wanted to start specialty within adoption. And I noticed I don't see any sample document under the adoption, and I was just
Right.
wondering, are there any out there or?
Sure, let me address that. So with the adoptions, the types of documents that are notarized are everyday documents we have in our house. So that's why I didn't provide them, right? It's a copy of our tax return. It's a copy of documents that we normally would possess. Most people would know what they are. So that's why I didn't do that. The other documents would be a statement from a CPA or bookkeeper that certifies their financial statement. Another one would be a doctor statement that says they're in good health.
Okay.
Right. And so that's why I didn't do that, because you would not ever be providing those.
Oh,
They
okay.
would be creating all of those. And the only part that you have to be concerned about is the certificate part. I named a bunch of them in that program. You should have heard all the names. You could certainly Google any one of them and probably see what a sample would look like if you felt like I don't recognize what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Hi,
You're so
Laura.
welcome.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, Clyde, yes.
Yes, hi. Just to add to that, since I do, one of my areas of specialization is adoption and surrogacy. So in addition to what I'll call the household documents that you described, there are going to be some documents, and this is where you'll want to, she'll want to reach out to attorneys and work with attorneys who specialize in this area, because there's a set of documents that exist that are all the legal court filing documents. Right. And that's a huge thing for notaries to become involved with. And they really do want us to do those, as well as the vital statistics documents. Like any other notary work though, you're going to be under timelines because a lot of the vital statistics documents need to be done within a very short period of time following any kind of birth or arrangements like that. So anyway, that's just some more information in that space for you.
Okay. And let me just add on to what Clyde said, because the program that I talked about were particularly, I did mention domestic, but international. And international is not the same process. It's where they build a dossier of 20, 30 documents that are individually notarized, sometimes in duplicate and triplicate, depending on if they a Hague country or not a Hague country. There's some rules that apply to that. And they do not involve our court system. Here, they involve the USCIS. So two different things going on. I think Clyde is describing domestic adoptions. What you were asking me about with those documents were really, all the ones I named were the international adoptions. But yes, domestic ones, the international ones come to me through people who are involved with an adoption agency. And the domestic ones tend to be with attorneys directly that are doing like family law.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Clyde, for the addition.
Yeah, Clyde, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Guess who's back? Where'd you go? God, everybody bounced around all of a sudden. All right. I'm going to do Monique first. Monique, if you would unmute yourself and tell me what state you're in.
Hi, I'm currently in Mississippi. I have a question. I did put it in the chat, but I wanted to know, I recently moved to Mississippi. I am displaced, and I've been a notary for Kentucky for 2 years. And I'm currently awaiting our house to be ready in Louisiana. And I wanted to know, I know my license is getting ready to expire in June with Kentucky, but how do I keep being a notary if I don't have a physical address per se? Like, I don't have no proof of Mississippi because I'm at my mother-in-law's house and my house won't be ready for another couple months. It keeps pushing back. So I was just trying to get some advice.
So you're going to continue in Kentucky because that's what your house is going to be. You're going to move back into that?
No, I'm selling my house in Kentucky and moving down south. So I'm currently now in Mississippi with my mother-in-law. My house is being sold in Kentucky and I'm waiting my new house to be ready in Louisiana.
Okay, Louisiana is going to be ultimately your destination. Is that correct?
Yes.
And by the way, Louisiana is one of those states that takes like 6 months of training and a big long test. It is not the same as the rest of us. They are like their own unique country over there. And they are almost like paralegal status. They're notaries. It's very different. So I just want to make you aware, first of all, of what you're going to walk into over there. Kentucky, do you know if Kentucky requires residence, proof of residence? Because you're probably going to need to go to your Secretary of State and have this conversation with them if you want to continue to renew when you're not there anymore. I don't know if they're going to allow you to do that. Some states have a requirement, and they might have a requirement of what is considered proof. I mean, you had a driver's license that showed you lived there, right?
I still have the Kentucky driver's license.
Right, and that might be all they need. So I don't know those specific answers off the top. That's a conversation I believe you need to have with the Secretary of State, number one, and or look at their handbook, which you can Google and pull down and read the requirements or qualifications to see if there's anything you can't meet or is in question, then have the conversation. So you can zero in.
Also suggest me going ahead to inquire about Louisiana, even though I don't have physical address.
Absolutely, find out, because you may be able to do a bunch of footwork before you even get to Louisiana.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. It looks like I still have a couple minutes going on, and Anissa is back.
Okay, I had I confirmed an order the other day with a client, and the gentleman mentioned that he and his wife were blind. How do I handle that? I mean, how would one handle it?
So I handle blind signers, and my own mother is blind. So I've had some experience with this. And so it depends on if they're just legally blind or totally blind. That's the first thing. And the second thing, it depends on your state. Some states, like Florida, says you will read the document verbatim, word for word, and you can't notarize till you do that. Okay, that's what Florida says. California says, hey, read the title of the document, make sure they know that what they're signing, and you might have to either put their finger at the signature line. I use a signer's card that has the opening in it over it. Sometimes they have their own tool to do that. So it's not a problem, but know what your state says about handling a disabled signer, because some of them have very specific. I think Montana might be another one that's like that. So I don't recall Arizona off the top of my head, but if you go into your statutes, you would find it there. Hotline can look it up for you if you're a member of the NNA as well, to tell you if there is anything specific. If there's nothing addressed, then at minimum telling them this is the name of the document. If there's an important piece of information filled in, like this is the amount of the loan, or this is who you named as your attorney in fact, does that sound like what you're expecting? Here's where you sign. Right? Just like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Daniel, do you have an announcement?
I just want everybody to know about Notary Masters, Toastmasters Club. Our open house is coming up on March the 3rd, Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Our speakers are for this special meeting is, we have Jen Neitzel from Signing Agent Marketing. We have Ronnie Mickle from Notary Stars, and we have Sue Hope from Notary Assist, as well as many of the other members of our club will be chiming in when needed. It's a great club. It's free for everybody. It's an hour long, 9:30. I put notarymasters.org in there, but I'll put it in again. But everybody can join us for free and see what it's about. We're a brand new Toastmasters Club, hoping to charter in April. So come see what it's about.
And can I just add, I've attended 2 of them myself, and they're fabulous. They're interesting. It's easy to participate. And if you are nervous at all at having to present information, even if it's a 2-minute pitch, this is a great place for you to start practicing in a safe environment, so that you're more confident when you go out there and have to speak to other people. So I really enjoyed and I'll be at the open house. And actually, I'm considering myself to join this particular group, because not only is it helpful in your speaking skills, but it's notary. So what I found great about it is I knew what everybody was talking about because we're all notaries. So it was really interesting. So thanks for sharing that announcement, Daniel.
I picked something up at every single meeting that was very practical. And last time it was a whoops. It was a, oh my God, I've been doing this wrong all along. So it's really been helpful, and it's such a fun time. Thank you.
It is. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I think, let me look at my phone. I only have 1 minute left. So I'm going to use it to be wrapping up our day today. We got through everybody at least once, and some people twice. I saw that, Matt, I think you put the announcement about the HOA elections. Could you pop open? Could you please unmute and announce that?
Sure, thanks, Laura. Happy to announce that the CLIN will be hosting an HOA Inspector of Elections training event on March 27th with our very own Laura Buer. She has been working in this field for the past couple of years as a reaction to a new law that passed in California stating that notaries can now be official inspector of HOA elections. This is an exclusive event for California notaries. Paid members of the CLIN will have free admission. And then those who are not paid members may buy a ticket online. However, it's $10 cheaper to join the league, so you might as well join the league, get access to the event, the replay, and so much very more. Go to calnotaries.org, click on the red link at the top, and that'll have all the details for you. Looking forward to this. It's going to be a big one, guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really missed my partner, Bill, today, but thank you for helping Matt. Thank you for helping Clyde. Thank you for helping Griff. Thank you for helping Jen. If I missed anybody, I love you the most. All right. So we will see you at this same station next Tuesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Bye, Laura. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.